targeted Dan Murphy's in Bundoora. Now, this was just right under the noses of the staff. They were stuffing their bags with Johnny Walker Black Label. Reportedly, they knocked off 40 bottles as staff members told them to stop. And because of the store protocol, because of the company rules, the staff just couldn't do a thing about it, really. Now, as I said, I'm not here to spruik my own network, but the story is on the 9 News website. It's quite remarkable, it really is. But on the line is Nathan. Now, Nathan featured in that story. He was there in the shop, and he had the nous to actually film it. He joins us now. Good morning, Nathan.
Hey, Tony, how you going?
Yeah, good. Look, I mean, like yourself, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock. It's kind of 8 o'clock at night. It was a pretty quiet night. There was probably 3 or 4 of us, I guess, in the store. And then it all turned, pretty hectic, pretty quick, I guess.
So these, from your phone vision that you took, we couldn't really get a good look at their faces. I think they were described in the story last night of Aboriginal or Islander appearance. Is that right?
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that it probably didn't matter what race they were. I think they were
just going to say,
yeah. I think it was probably. My initial gut feeling, and it's just my gut feeling, they were probably drug users, and I think that was probably the main problem. Just dead set criminals. They'd done it before.
Well, that's my point in terms of the description, is that they were known to business holders around that area.
Yeah. I went down there yesterday when Channel 9 were down there, and I was warned by the store manager that these guys were known to them and actually quite violent, and was warned against. He basically warned me against getting involved, and I sort of said, well, I didn't really get involved. I think I took the pretty relaxed. There were sort of 2 options, right? And I think this is where the staff had a problem as well. You could either intervene, but I think if any of us intervened, it would have turned violent pretty quickly. And I think we all made the decision that some bottles of whiskey probably weren't worth that.
No, that's right. But by the end of the day, I mean, it was just the nature of the thefts, the volume of the thefts, like loading up their bags with these bottles of scotch. But they just, I take into account what you were told about them being violent, but they just seem so calm about the whole thing. It really was like a routine shopping expedition.
Yeah, look, it's. My gut feeling when they walked out was that they were probably going to drive somewhere else and do the same thing. I mean, it was a bit of a production line, is the way I looked at it. I think they're lucky something like that happened in America. You could imagine sort of people intervening and how they might. You can see the video. They knew that I was standing directly behind them. I'm 100 kilos and 6 foot. I was sort of waiting for a cue from one of the staff, I guess, to intervene, and then I think we all had the same idea that it was just like, no. So that's why I thought, look, I'll just film it. You can even see in the video the woman who works there is kind of waving me over, trying to get their faces, and I sort of moved to the side and that, but you don't want to. I was fairly close. I didn't want to stick it right in their face and then become the target. They had plenty of bottles they could have been swinging, I guess. So.
And vice versa. But you would have been prepared to get involved, would you?
Well, what went through my head, to be honest, was, the guy was missing a tooth, and I thought, all right, well, if I physically intervene, or, I'm probably going to end up violent. Like I said, people will be throwing punches or whatever, and I thought, well, if I cut my hand on his tooth, I might end up with who knows what, diseases or... And then, the second thought that went through your head is, they're pretty sort of nasty-looking people anyway. What's to say that they're not going to pull out a weapon? And then I thought, well, if it gets to that, then it's a sort of fight for your, not a fight for your life, but then it would have turned it up a notch, I suppose. And I thought, well, it's not worth it. You can see the video though. Anyone would have loved to just give him a kick up the backside. He wasn't even looking.
No.
And but then you think, well, you hear stories about people confronting robbers in their house and that sort of thing, and they get charged. So. I'm not sure that there was anything else that could be done. I think the woman who worked there handled it really well. She tried politely to tell them they couldn't, but they weren't listening. So the next step would have been for a couple of us to hold them down, and but that then it's a whole new story, I guess.
Well, lucky you were in at Dan Murphy's there, because you probably needed a drink after all that.
Well, yeah, I did pick up a nice bottle for myself and had a couple of cheeky ones when I got home. But it was it's. it was more frustrating, I think, for everybody because we were all sort of looking at each other, and I mean, they didn't show it on the TV, but at one point I sort of said to the guy who worked there, if you want to grab him, I'll help you, but it's sort of, I think it would have required a bit of a team effort, and it just wasn't the right thing to do, I think.
Yeah. All right, Nathan, good to talk to you, and well done on getting the footage because hopefully that will lead to an arrest of these two.
Awesome.
All right, thank you. There's Nathan there.
Thanks,
Thank you, Nathan, who was at Dan Murphy's in Bundoora and took that footage. And as I said, it was on 9 News last night. You can check out their website if you haven't seen it. The thing that